The textbook definition for our company is we are a B2B SaaS service that enables estate planning law firms to incorporate their clients' digital assets and accounts into their estate plans. Now, you've just had the best cheeseburger, bacon, even a little lime, and you're going to your car and you get struck by the Lynx blue line. If you are one of the 47% of organized Americans who have written a trust or a will with an estate planner, then you're in luck, because you have a plan for your bank accounts, your brokerage, your mortgage accounts, your real estate. Anything that's tangible has been documented and written by your estate planners. What they have probably not covered is anything that is digital that is valuable to you. That means things like payment apps such as Venmo, or accounts that hold balances, crypto, NFTs, gambling accounts, shopping accounts, loyalty and travel accounts, storage vaults, intellectual property. We have social media, we have domain names, IP, and of course biodata, where they're storing your DNA. These are all accounts that we have online, but then there's no plan for them. So we kind of have a trifecta situation. Testators is the person who's going to the law firm to write their will. So what they want to do is have a plan for their family or their kids, right? Then there's the executor, and that's the person who's supposed to take care of all the testator wishes once they've gone. And the estate planning law firms are the one writing this down. So the problem is that the poor executors probably don't even know where to start. So we're not a password bank, but we are there to tell you what to do with your digital assets. But then there's the part where you actually have to disclose that information. So you're not being asked at the law firm. So what we've done at Dexit is we have a large proprietary database. And in this database, we track all the information that companies provide or do not provide in how to close the account, memorialize the account, transfer funds out of the account, how do you access the account if you don't have a username and password, what kind of documents do you need in order to get those assets, to move those assets. And we provide a digital inventory report. So we do a disclosure report for the law firm. It helps provide negligence, an umbrella for negligence. It gives them a market advantage that they're actually dealing with digital assets, which is a huge new emerging class of assets. And of course, they have access to our database. Our questionnaire is in 7 chapters. We cover payments, anything that holds a fund online. We cover blockchain, cryptocurrencies also. We do a section on biodata and health. A typical example is 23andMe. They use your data. They sell your data even long after you're gone. Travel and loyalty points, we're very familiar with those. This is more of a value that's not monetary. It could be if you're an influencer, but it doesn't have to be. And then, of course, your telephone. You do still have to pay your telephone way long after you're dead because there's 2-factor authentication you got to deal with if you're the executor. And then, of course, there's shopping and e-commerce. People I've interviewed, for example, they're like, oh, yeah, I buy and sell drum kits. He had a $30,000 line of funds sitting in this account. Of course, the account is a European-based account, but he's here in the States. His family would never have access to those funds. So we have a per-client report. The questionnaire is $250 for the process. The digital asset inventory report is extremely in-depth. I mean, that's the one where we don't just tell you what to do, but what to do as a testator before you go, and then what your executor needs to know. And then access to the database is a subscription where they can look up the firm, and then we are billing the law firm. So it is completely anonymous, as if you were the client of the law firm. We don't know who you are. You're just a number in our questionnaire. So we bill the law firm, they deal with their clients, the privacy stays within their domain, and that's 1 minute to go. So that's how we don't need to deal with privacy hacking issues, and lawyers like that. And I do have a the ask. We are looking for a goodwill mentor who is a pricing specialist. So now we're at the point where we're looking at law firms. And we have mom and pops style law firms. We have medium-sized law firms. We have large law firms. What do they need and how do they price is what we need to figure out because they are all different. So some may charge $2,000 for a will. Some may charge $10,000 for a will. If it's a large firm with 10 lawyers, it will be very different than a law firm with 2 lawyers. So we're looking at what's the best help we can get out there to help us price point what we need to in a market that's pretty much very green, I would say, dealing with tangible assets. And what's my time? Oh, done. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is like an abstracted concept, right? And I know a little bit about it because I work in the family office space. So top decile from an understanding, or top 10% in terms of knowledge and understanding, and I'm not getting it. So it's not too dissimilar from the last set of feedback, is like, but you have a different problem here, is like you're dealing with an abstracted concept to begin with, trust, estates, wills, digital assets. And in 6 to 7 minutes, you're trying to distill that down to like, I guess this ask, we need help or we need money. So I would say is like, I'd start over. Like, I think the ideas are good, the concepts are there. I think you need to take the level, volume of content, distill it down to 1 or 2 or 3 key points, and just use that to kind of script the walkthrough here, right? So go back to the problem statement, and it was just too complicated up front. I think the problem is the middle of like lawyers aren't ready for this, and the world is growing into this. Like, there's something in there that you have to find. I can't find the words yet, but like I think that's where you are. The solution, it sounds like what you're saying is like, we're going to more securely, accurately, timely transfer these assets to the rightful owners and heirs. So like, that's an example. I'm not sure if that's what the answer is, but like, I need it that tight and that simple. Otherwise, I'm still like, okay, I think I get it. And then how does this turn into a business? Because that's also the challenge here, is you're kind of pitching a business, but you're really kind of pitching a product or a solution or a pilot, and you're looking for a place to validate that it's usable or workable or something that a lawyer would want to use. So anyway, maybe I'm not being clear in my explanation because I'm not clear. So yeah.
No, it's very clear. Actually, right now, when we look at the estate law field, it's number 4 for malpractice claims.
Okay.
So whatever they do not discover, they do not put it in a will. Crypto, they have no idea how to deal with it. Nobody does right now. They don't know how to deal with credit card points, miles, all this DNA data. Alabama just came out with a court decision where frozen embryos have human rights. It means that if you have frozen embryos, they can be your heirs. They are not in your will. So there are so many little things you don't know about what you keep online, and average American has more than 100 accounts. So we have to deal with this field, and they're not dealing with it.
Sure. So can you go back to the 2 circles at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So I totally got it. I like this made a ton of sense to me, and I thought you did a great job saying like, this is kind of what we do, right? I have a couple questions. What made you guys do this? This is pretty cool. This is a little unusual, yeah? How did you guys get into this?
We came from different areas, basically.
My angle was I went through and wrote a will and walked out, and I said, poor executor. My brother will have no idea where to start. Nowhere.
Are you an attorney?
No. Okay. We are both not attorneys. We do not give legal advice. And I'll let you tell where you came from.
Yes, and I used to be an attorney in Russia, so not here. Anyway, but I went through divorce, and all that, I had to look at it. And this software will help not only the estate lawyers, but divorce lawyers and the financial advisors.
So do you have any customers?
We're working on it this week.
We're
So
about
no.
to sign up the big firm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the idea here is you're going to charge a law firm $10,000 a year to use the service, and then a per survey thing, $250 for the simple one and $650 for the complicated one, something like that.
Well,
yeah.
that's the pricing help we
Yes,
need.
But that's what's on the slide.
Yeah, yeah,
That's kind
yeah,
of the idea.
yeah.
Okay. How many estate law firms are there? Do we know?
There,
I mean, it's a small niche group, but that these questionnaires are per client. So the law firm we're talking to now, they have 8 estate planners. They have about 300 clients. They want to take the questionnaire right away.
Sure. I think it would be really good for you when you're talking to people in the world is if someone said, how many estate planning law firms are there in the world? You should have you should know.
75 in North Carolina. There's less in South Carolina, 190 something. Yes.
You should have
Yes, we
say
we
this
have
many
all
because
of them
they're going to
accounted.
instantly multiply that number times 10,000, right? And then how many estate plans and wills get made in the United States each year?
47% of the population.
No, how many get made every year?
Created, yeah. How many estates or wills are
Yeah.
drafted or created, yeah.
Yeah, so I would want to know that too, right? Because this is kind of unusual. Like, I'm thinking about this, like in my estate plan, like I know Juan isn't covering his loyalty points, right, in his thing, right? I know that, right? But like, I would really want to know kind of how big could this market be, because this strikes me as pretty innovative, to be honest. Okay, we have a couple questions. Yeah, you.
I just have an interesting perspective. You said essentially your customer is mostly lawyers. As a not lawyer and somebody who's just on their will, I find this list in the red more human oriented.
Yeah.
I found that very undescribable, unexplainable, and lawyers have nothing to help me understand.
That's the experience I had.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to articulate is it'd be interesting to see how you humanize as well that part, so that it does become a little bit more people can connect with it. Because my shopping accounts, do I have a list? No, but I understand what that means and why I might be losing. I don't understand that part.
And part of the questionnaire is to bring those clients back in to update their wills, which they struggle with doing. So
We're moving
By
clients.
the way, call your parents today and ask them for their passwords to their email. Seriously, I'm not kidding, right? Just get the password for their email.
There are services out there that are doing that basic
Yeah.
stuff.
Just at
Yeah.
least ask them, where do you have accounts? Because you don't know, even you don't know accounts.
And just a comment, as a consumer, not to be macabre, but it is a pain in the ass when a family member
Yep.
dies. So there's an interesting bridge the gap here, because I love this. I think there's something there, but I think there is definitely a pathway.
So raise your hand if you agree with the following statement. This is a really intriguing idea. Yeah. People dig your idea. They really do. Like, no. I've done this 100 times, right? I feel like I'm qualified to judge how the room feels at this point, right? Like I can tell, right? Y'all have an interesting value proposition. You don't know nearly enough about the market that you're dealing with, in my opinion, right? I think you need to spend some serious time saying there are this many estate planning law firms, there are this many divorce firms, they're like, who are all the people to whom you can sell, right? And there are this many that are big and this many that are small, that kind of thing. And this is how many kind of plans and wills they do each year, because this could be decent. I mean, it's really, like, in my opinion, you could be kind of onto something here, but you've thought a lot about the product, but not nearly enough about the market.
Let me make one more comment. I hope this metaphor translates. So Chris made a point earlier I want to make, and then I'm going to make the big point, which is, it's like you're spending time in this room with these people, right? And if they're clear on what your ask is, and you're being clear on your ask, like, time well spent for everybody, right? That's a good relationship. And someone might help you. There might be someone in here. I might be like, yeah, here's my attorney. Can you please talk to him? The way to get people to want to listen to that and lock in on that is to really kind of dial in. Like, this is kind of like open mic night. You ever go to a bar where like, hey, you can come up and play guitar and sing a song, right? And there's people who go up there, they're way too ambitious. They try to play a really hard Coldplay song and it just bombs, right? You guys need to start with a simpler song and just really lock in and get people to want to listen to like what that hook is. And you know, you have a couple of people picking up on it, but the simplicity of your song and the simplicity of how you're playing the instrument needs to be improved. Otherwise, we're just going to be like, oh man, this is really cool, but you know, keep in touch. Let me know when you guys catch a gear or figure something out, which is, to Chris's point, the hard no. So that's where I'd spend most of my time if I was in, and I've been in this stage before where it's like, what is it? Like, what are we trying to do? It can be 30 to 45 seconds, and that's the real test. The other test that I saw, the moment an entrepreneur is reading from the slides in a 5-minute format like this, I'm pretty much tuning out because I know that you're not as comfortable with the material as you need to be. And so like the first thing you did when you started this thing was you looked at your slides and started reading. So that's just one more point, coaching point, like don't read from the slides. If you read from the slides, most investors are just going to be like, okay, like this is kind of a practice pitch, which obviously this is a practice pitch, this is why we're being critical. Yeah, but don't do that. Yeah, anyway.
We want to be an expert.
Yeah.
They are expert in that field. They are busy. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to know anything about it. They want us to come and tell them what to do. That's what we got when we talked to all those attorneys.
Keep talking to the attorneys.
Yeah.
They're going to help you get there, and then your song's going to be tighter, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say you need to go meet with 100 attorneys in the next 6 months or whatever it's going to be, or 2 months. And then you're back pitching because now you're talking to the market, right? Yeah.
Y'all did great. Y'all did great. Thanks.
Good try.